Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying deep into the past, all the way back to 1.7 million years ago, to uncover a hidden and deadly aspect of our ancestors' lives. We often imagine prehistoric humans as mighty hunters and resourceful gatherers, but what about the invisible dangers that lurked in their world? I'm talking about poison. How did they learn to distinguish between a life-saving meal and a lethal plant? Let's dive into the toxic truth of our ancient past. Imagine the world 1.7 million years ago. It's a landscape teeming with life, a vibrant, green paradise. But for early humans, like Homo erectus, this paradise was also a minefield. Every plant, every berry, every root was a question mark. Is this food, or is it fatal? This wasn't just a daily challenge. It was a fundamental struggle for survival that shaped our evolution in ways we were only just beginning to understand. The stakes couldn't have been higher. A single mistake could mean the end, not just for an individual, but for their entire group. So, how did they figure it out? The answer lies in a combination of grim trial and error, sharp observation, and the passing down of crucial knowledge. Picture a small group of early humans. One brave, or perhaps desperate individual tries a new, brightly colored berry. Hours later, they fall violently ill. The rest of the group watches, learns, and remembers. Do not eat that berry. This brutal, first-hand experience was the most basic form of science. The survivors carried that knowledge, a life-saving lesson paid for at a terrible price. They became the first librarians of a purely oral tradition, a living database of edible versus toxic. This process wasn't just about avoiding death, it was about observation. Our ancestors would have watched animals closely. If they saw birds feasting on a certain fruit without any ill effects, it was a good sign that it might be safe for them too. Conversely, if they found an animal that had died near a half-eaten plant, it was a clear warning. This ecological wisdom, this deep connection to their environment, was their best defense. They learned to read the subtle language of nature, a skill that was just as important as crafting a stone tool. Think about some of the plants we know today. The beautiful rosary pea, with its striking red and black seeds, contains abrin, one of the most potent toxins in the world. Just one seed, if chewed, could be fatal. Or consider the castor bean plant, the source of the deadly poison ricin. These plants would have been part of the scenery for our ancestors. Learning to identify and avoid them was non-negotiable. This knowledge wasn't just abstract, it was woven into their daily movements, their foraging paths, and the stories they told around the fire. This ancient struggle for knowledge also likely spurred cognitive development. Remembering which plants were safe, in which season, and how to prepare them required significant memory and planning skills. Could this constant mental mapping of their environment have been a driving force behind our expanding brains? It's a fascinating thought. They also might have learned that some poisonous plants could be made safe through processing. Cooking, soaking, or leaching could neutralize certain toxins. This discovery would have been revolutionary, unlocking entirely new food sources and giving groups a massive survival advantage. This is where archaeology gives us clues. While direct evidence of poisoning is incredibly rare to find in fossils 1.7 million years old, we can make logical inferences. We find stone tools designed for processing plants. We find evidence of fire. These technologies weren't just for meat. They were crucial for making the plant world accessible and safe. The hearth wasn't just a source of warmth. It was the first laboratory, a place where dangerous plants were transformed into nourishing food. The ability to identify and use plants also opened the door to another possibility, the intentional use of poisons. While it's difficult to prove, it's plausible that early humans learned to apply plant toxins to the tips of their spears or arrows. This would have made them far more effective hunters, able to take down large prey that might otherwise escape. A small wound could become a fatal one, securing a vital source of protein for the group. This represents a huge intellectual leap from avoiding poison to harnessing its power. So, the next time you walk through a forest or even a park, look at the plants around you. Each one tells a story that our ancestors had to learn the hard way. Their perilous journey through a toxic world was a crucial chapter in our own. They weren't just discovering what to eat, they were building the foundations of knowledge, culture, and science itself. Their successes and their tragic failures are encoded in our own DNA, a silent testament to their resilience and intelligence. It's a humbling reminder that survival has always been a dance with danger. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. It's truly amazing to think about the challenges our ancestors faced and overcame. If you found this fascinating, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into our incredible human story. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're stepping into a time machine, dialing it back a whopping 1.7 million years. Forget everything you think you know about the caveman diet. It wasn't just juicy mammoths and wild berries. Our early ancestors, like Homo habilis, lived in a world where dinner could be a deadly game of Russian roulette. The lush, vibrant landscapes they called home were filled with hidden dangers, specifically poisonous plants. Imagine this: you're hungry, foraging for food. You see a vibrant, inviting-looking root. It looks a bit like something you ate last week, but this time, after a few bites, your stomach cramps, your head spins, and you collapse. This was a grim reality for early humans. They didn't have a handy botanical guide or a smartphone app to tell them what was safe. Their knowledge was built through brutal trial and error, a process where one mistake could be the last. Archaeologists and paleobotanists have found incredible evidence that paints a picture of this daily struggle. By analyzing fossilized teeth in ancient cooking sites, they've discovered that early humans had a surprisingly diverse, plant-heavy diet. But among the nutritious tubers and leaves were their toxic twins. Plants like the infamous hemlock, or even common-looking but deadly nightshade berries, would have been a constant threat. Distinguishing a life-saving meal from a lethal poison was one of the most critical survival skills. So how did they do it? It was a slow, generational process of learning. They likely observed what animals avoided. They would have used their sense of smell, touch, and even tiny tastes to test new plants. A bitter taste was often nature's first warning sign. This knowledge wasn't written down. It was passed on through stories, through demonstration, from one generation to the next. A mother teaching her child which red berry was a sweet treat and which one was a ticket to an early grave. This ancestral wisdom formed the very foundation of human survival and pharmacology. Think about the castor bean plant. Today, we know it contains ricin, one of the most potent toxins in the world, but prehistoric people wouldn't have known that. They would have just learned, perhaps tragically, that eating those beans led to sickness and death. This process of identifying and avoiding poisonous plants was a massive evolutionary driver. It sharpened their observational skills, strengthened social bonds through shared knowledge, and ultimately made them smarter and more adaptable survivors. The story of our ancestors' relationship with poisonous plants is a dramatic tale of survival, intelligence, and adaptation. It reminds us that for most of human history, the world was a much more dangerous place, where every meal was a test of knowledge passed down through countless generations. It's a humbling look at the deadly secrets hidden within the prehistoric world. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button, subscribe for more adventures into the past, and ring that notification bell. Let me know in the comments what ancient mystery you'd like us to uncover next. See you in the next video.